Let's talk about calendars, service level agreements and overviews in Zammad. This is part 3 of my basic configuration series. Grab your favorite drink and lean back. Zammad offers a calendar functionality. This calendar function alone does nothing really, but can be combined with other important functions like service level agreements, schedulers and triggers. They hold your business hours, which allows you to granularly define how and when your company is working and when you're, for example, having a break. You can define this for every single weekday. The time zone allows Zammad to know your default time zone. This helps it to adapt to your general working day, especially when using the default calendar. This will affect service level agreement escalations, for example, but more on that later. Apart from your working hours, you can also choose from several options for public holidays. You can either configure them entirely manually using your own ICS URL or use built-in Google calendars for each country. Be aware that the Google approach might not be 100% on point for you. In Germany, for example, we have general public holidays for everyone, but also federal state-specific holidays. Thus, there might be better sources for ICS calendars that might help you here. These calendars will be fetched by Zammad once per day. Public holidays in these calendars will make Zammad behave like a weekend day you wouldn't work normally. This will be relevant for ticket escalations because it doesn't make any sense to escalate tickets if you're not within the service period. Now, with the stuff you've learned from calendars just now, let's talk about service level agreements. These are the main reasons for calendars. Service level agreements, or short SLA, describe certain reaction times that you guaranteed your customer. These guaranteed reactions can have various dependencies, like guaranteed solving time with certain support contexts as an example. A SLA allows you to use ticket selectors. This way, escalations can be limited to certain groups, customers or organizations. You virtually have no limits at this point. With Zammad, you can enforce reaction times for the first reaction, an update interval and the time a ticket may be open until it has to be resolved. The working hours of the given calendar have a direct impact on the configured SLA in question. Each SLA configuration can have different calendars configured. This allows you to use different service times for different customer groups within the day. These things might get confusing quickly, because agents may have trouble understanding when what escalation hits a ticket. For this reason, Zammad displays the next escalation time in the head area of tickets that are affected by service level agreements. Hovering over the next escalation time will provide you with all upcoming escalation times. If you compare these two tickets, you will notice that one of the two rings has a rather warm orange than the usual yellow from open tickets. Now this means that the ticket has escalated. The default notification settings will cause two things for an escalated ticket to happen. You will receive a notification in Zammad's web interface and an email notification. By default, you will receive a heads-up warning roughly 15 minutes before the ticket is going to escalate. These notifications can be adjusted, of course. You will also receive an escalation reminder every night at midnight, as long as the ticket in question stays escalated. An escalation can be solved by adding a communication type article to the ticket. Communication type means either a phone note that indicates you have had a phone call with the customer or an email article. Of course, this only applies to tickets that have not exceeded the solution time setting already. Now let's take a closer look at the SLA timings available. First response is pretty straightforward. This is the time your agents have to react on a ticket initially. The update time describes how much time your agent has to update the ticket further. This timer will begin to tick as soon as the first response time has been surpassed or directly after creation if you have no first response time in place. In this context, you can choose between agent updates or for an agent to respond. If you choose between agent updates, please note that this means that your agents have to constantly update the ticket. Depending on how small your time frame is, this can be very stressful for your agent. In this scenario, Zammad does not care about the customer's reply at all. If you choose for an agent to respond, this will take your customer's replies in account. The timer does not count after your agents have replied to the customer. It starts as soon as the customer comes back in. In most scenarios, this is the update timing you're looking for. The last timing is solution time. This timer describes how much time your agents generally have to close the ticket. Here are some further remarks that are important for SLAs. First response and solution time are applied once. A ticket with an escalated solution time will stay escalated forever. Update time will continue to function as expected even after reopening the ticket. By default, pending states like pending reminder and pending close default to ignore service level agreements and thus are the only way to pause escalations. However, as soon as your customer replies, the ticket will fall back into an open state and might escalate immediately in these situations. Updating service level agreement configurations will cause recalculations of the ticket that are affected. On bigger instances, this may cause temporary performance degradations. If you have such an instance, consider doing these changes at the evening or during maintenance hours. Overviews are the central point at least your agent will use permanently. Think of an overview like a permanent filter for a specific set of tickets. If done right, it will aid your agent in working efficient and quickly. There are several ways to achieve this. Generally, at least from my point of view, you should always aim for overviews that show the stuff that's relevant at this moment. In my opinion, the most relevant tickets are those that are open. A slim overview reduces the risk to overwhelm your agent. Why show them stuff that is not relevant to them? Also try not to clone existing stuff from mailboxes. The transition from a shared mailbox to a ticket system will be different at first, but cloning your experience from before will also continue to have downsides of a mailbox. As a rule of thumb, everything that has been closed is no longer relevant for an agent. Agents can use the search function or look into the user's history at any time if needed. If you must create a recently closed overview, at least limit it to a week or two. Now let's take a look at the configuration of an overview. Overviews generally are assigned to roles and thus are, by default, available to all users of the selected role. If the role in question is rather specific for a subgroup or users of these roles, you can use restrict to only the following users. Such a specific overview could affect supervisors, for example. When using restrictions to specific users, you still have to provide at least one role. If the users in question are not part of the role, the overview will not be available to those. Only available for users with shared organizations allows you to provide overviews to members of shared organizations only. This is a fairly special configuration and usually is relevant for customer roles. Zammad comes with an example overview by default. It is called My Organization Tickets. Only available for users which are absence replacements for other users enables overviews for other replacements users only. This is relevant for users that are replacement agents for the out-of-office function. This allows agents to have replacements for example, sick leave or holidays. The most relevant part of the configuration of overviews is the conditions for shown tickets. This is the search filter that decides which tickets are shown to the user. You almost have no restrictions for ticket selectors. Keep in mind that overviews right now have a limitation of 2100 tickets per overview. This has performance reasons. Generally, it's advised to keep them as small as possible. This also helps in a general overview of your agents. Also, keep in mind that an overview will still take the user's access permissions into account. This is not just a failsafe in case a filter doesn't fit correctly, but also allows you to use generic overviews for several different roles and departments. Below the selectors and preview, you have several options to customize the appearance and sorting of the overview. For pending reminder overviews, the pending till attributes, for example, makes a lot of sense. For open overviews, it doesn't. Keep in mind that these attributes take up space, so the limitation is your user's browser or general desktop width. The sorting and grouping options should be fairly self-describing. Note that the grouping function over several pages may be confusing to your users. Last but not least, if you temporarily don't need an overview, you can disable it instead of the removal. There's also a position field that you can use to change the position within the general overview list. However, it's easier to rearrange the overviews with drag and drop in the overview list of the management area. Users can rearrange the order of overviews within the user profile settings if needed. This allows them to decide for a more logical order if they want it. The mobile view does support this as well. However, the mobile view even allows you to remove overviews from the selection. In the default Zammad installations, these options are not available to customers. I hope this video gave you a good overview of the shown features. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, take care.